Hello everyone, this is part 2 of chapter 3. As we tried to mention earlier, we created a database using SQL Server Management Studio 2012, and right now we'll see how can we create tables within that database. As I said earlier, to create a database, simply what you should do is right click, click new database. You have to specify the name, you have to specify the owner, and automatically the log file and the primary file will be created. You have to specify the option if you need to specify, and you can add any file group if you need. And after you created your database, the next step that you should do is creating tables. And as I tried to mention earlier, the first table that we should create is the faculty table. The faculty table is the bottom one. Actually, it is advisable, it's not a must. You can create in any order you want, but it's very good to create first the primary table. In our case, the only primary table that doesn't have any dependent, for any dependent with another table is the faculty table. And let me show you how can you create that faculty table. Simply what you should do is right click on table, click on new, again right click on table, click on new, and you have to specify the column name. As you can see here, the column names are faculty ID, faculty name, and faculty head. So you can come here, what you should do is faculty ID and faculty name and faculty head. Once you do this, you have to specify the data type. Data type means the type of data that is stored in the database. As you can see here, faculty ID is an integer. Assume that faculty ID is integer. What you should do is you have to specify int. There are different data types. Data type means the type of data that you are storing. For example, if you are thinking about date of birth of a given student or a given member, you can select date, time, or date. And if you need to use the true or false or 1 or 0, you can use bit. There are different data types that you should specify. So one of these is integer, so the integer data type is int. And the faculty name should be specified as varchar. Varchar means variable character. We already mentioned in chapter 1 of this SQL Server Database Administration and Development course, so you can see that one. Varchar is different from char because the size, the maximum size is the maximum size we specified. In this case is 50, but when you store 20 character length field, it will automatically occupy that much space instead of just occupying 50 for every record. If you need to occupy 50 record for every field, what you should do is instead of varchar you can use char, and faculty head is also varchar. In addition to this, what you should specify for this table is you can specify the primary key. Primary key means a key that can identify the record uniquely. So as to specify primary key, what you should do is right click, set primary key, and then right click on the column that you want to set a primary key and set primary key. And after that you can come to the bottom. While you select this one, you have to come down to the bottom and you have to specify identity specification. Identity specification means if you want to just start a number from 1 and you want the system will automatically increase a number by 1 or by 2, you can specify in here. So the first one is you have to first identify the seed. Seed means what will be the first number that you want to be displayed. If you want to start from 1 and increase by 1, you can just say 1. If you need to increase by 2, you can specify 2. First timing we will do 1, and that means we don't need to insert the faculty ID. The faculty ID will be automatically inserted by the table, by the system itself. And after you do this, you have to just save. Perfect. Once you save it, that means the faculty table is created. How do you know whether the faculty table is created or not? Simply right click on this table and click on refresh. As I showed you here, right click on the table and hit refresh, or simply come to the table and you can click this button, that is refresh button, or you can push F5 in your keyboard. These are different options to refresh your table. Now once we create this the faculty ID, the next table that you should create is department ID. As you can see here, department ID should have department table should have department ID, department name, faculty ID, and department head. But one thing you should be careful is that this faculty ID, so as to create a relationship between the faculty table, should have the same data type and the same length. So when you come here, as you see, faculty ID in the faculty table is integer, so the faculty ID in department table must be an integer too. So what you should do is department ID, department name, faculty ID, and department head. Now department ID can be integer, department name can be a variable character, and faculty ID must be integer because it is relating with the department ID. That's the most important thing, the faculty table. So as to create a relationship within another table, the two keys that you are relating with must have the same data type and the same length. And department head can be variable character. You can come here, right click and set primary key. Automatically primary key is set. Then you can click on save, and then you can give a name called department. As you can see here, there is no any table in here. Simply you can push F5, or you can come to here and refresh. Now you see two tables are created. What are the two tables? Department and faculty. The next table that you should create, the third table that we should create, is a student table. Student has student ID, first name, last name, age, and department ID for this, just for this course. Now what you should do is right click on table, new table. What you should do is student ID and student name, first name, student, last name, age, sex, and department ID. Now, as I tried to mention earlier, so as to relate with the department ID, this department ID should have the same data type to the department ID in the department table. The department ID in the department table has integer data type, so I have to specify integer here. And sex is one character, so what you should do is you have to use one character, char one. Char means a character, one single character that can be inserted into the table. That is either M or F. And age should be integer. A student name can be variable character, and first name should be variable character, and student ID can be integer value. And then you have to specify primary key for this. Right click, set primary key, and save, and give the meaningful name, that is student. Now refresh again, you'll see that we created 3 of these tables. We finished this one. Now the next table that we should create is course table. Now, so as to create a course table, what you should do is right click on table, new table, and then course number, course title, and credit hour. Course number can be variable character, and I will show you why we name variable character for this one. And course title can be variable character, credit hour can be integer, and then course number can be maths 101, maths 102, so it will not be more than 12, so you have to specify lower number. And course number, just right click on course number, set a primary key, save it, then give the name course, and then come here, refresh, right click, refresh, and the course is automatically created. Now we finished this. What's left is course student table. Because we create student and course, we can create course student table. It should have course number, student ID, and grade as based on this example. So what you should do is right click on the table and come here. Course number is the first one, student ID is the other one, and grade is the other one. Course number, we give course number as variable character 12, as you can see here, and the student ID is integer, we have to specify that, and grade is character, that means A, B, C, D, or F. Now as you can see here, we cannot have one key, because if we use column course number as a primary key, that means only one course will be given for the entire students. That is not true. That means one course can be taken by multiple students. And if we use student ID, that means one student will take only one course. It's not the case. So as to make a student to take multiple course, so as to make a course can be given to multiple students, we have to select both, as I showed you here. Click on this in the leftmost column next to student ID, and click push Control button, click course number in the left column, and then right click set primary key. In this case, course number and student are considered as primary keys, and then we have to give a student course table. Now we finished the fifth column, and then two more left. What's the other one that's left? Instructor. And we have to create instructor table. So as to create an instructor table, what you should do is right click on here, new instructor ID, instructor first name, instructor last name, and department ID. And then what you should do is instructor ID, we can make it integer. Instructor first name can be variable character, instructor last name can be variable character, and department ID must be integer. Now instructor ID can be considered as primary key. Then save it, give a name. Now the last table that we should create is instructor course. That means we have to relate an instructor with a course. Let me refresh first this. You see all the 6 tables are created. The last table that we should create is instructor course. So as to create an instructor course, what you should do is just come here to the table, right click, click on new table, then instructor, the data type is instructor ID, sorry. Instructor ID, the data type is integer, and course number, that is variable character of 12. And then here, for example, if there is any comment that we need to just put about that instructor, we can use comments. And then we have to make both as primary keys. So as to do that, push Control button, select the first one, select the second one, right click, set primary key, give the name, that is instructor course. Perfect. Now save this one, and let's just refresh, and let we see how many tables do we have. Right click in the table and refresh. Now as you can see, there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 tables are created. And the next step that we'll see is, okay, we create the table, we have to create a relationship between tables. That means the relationship is important, not to have and not to make any mistake when you insert data. That means, for example, here if you create a relationship between a student and course student and course, that means you cannot give any course that is not registered, and you cannot give a course for a student that is not registered. So that's the advantage behind this. That means, again, if you just create a relationship between these tables, that means you cannot give a course that is not registered, that is not known by the department, and you cannot give courses for students that doesn't belong to the department. So that way we have to protect that, we have to create a relationship between tables, and we'll see next in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is Yosef Adunya Kasai from IUB.